How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the weekly Old School Developer Q&A live stream. Just to introduce everyone quickly, on the end it's Mod Matt K, and then...
Go on then.
Okay, Mod John C in the middle, Mod Reach on the end, Mod Ash right here with his T, and Mod Alfred, and I'm Mod Ronan. And any special news or anything interesting before we get into the questions, or
no, let's do questions.
Okay, an interesting question to start with.
That's a good idea.
Can Reach talk about Raid Boss, the Raid Boss concept he posted on Twitter, and that's from Snapster X?
That's just a very early concept, so there isn't really much to it right now.
No, you've got a great design document.
Which is just a notepad, which is how everything starts, really. I don't really have anything to say about it at the moment. It's still just a concept. I was just playing around with it because I had some spare time. I've started mapping something down today purely because we were struggling to find anything really to do, so I thought I'd give it a go.
Say that.
Well, I had stuff to do.
You're doing poll stuff, but outside of that, if people want a raid boss, do send me ideas, because there's been a lot of talk about bosses at the moment, especially with RS3's release of Iraq Sword. That's gone down very well, so I think obviously we should probably step it up. We've got Corp coming, but Corp is a pre-release, so having something new would be quite nice.
Well, the next question is from Jedi the Hitless, and he asks, how long do we have to wait for the Corp poll, and how will you poll it?
Corp poll, I don't know. I mean, we can poll that anytime, really.
We got next poll, which we will know more about on Friday, is going to have Bounty Hunter. Is probably going to have the in-game polls in as well. There's a few PvP changes we want to make in the next poll.
I'd like autocast on the Ivan staff.
Yeah, so all sorts of bits and bobs for the next poll, mainly poll featured or in-game poll related or PvP related. Maybe after that one, what we got after that? Maybe 3 weeks time-ish, roughly.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, if the guys would put up this draw poll that I put on Twitter earlier, actually, into the stream, we've obviously put a dev blog up to discuss what we should do with the spirit shields, the drops, and the prerequisites for the entrance for Corp. A lot of you have given feedback. There's been some fantastic feedback coming from various, communities all over the place, both skillers, PvPers, PVMers. I put up a straw poll on Twitter earlier, and Boaty Stream crashed it slightly with, their ideas for what they wanted. I think that's going in the chat now. I think Simon or James has just put it there. It's up. Go voting that. There's already 2.5k votes in there, but the more we get, the better. It gives us an idea of what we should be doing. Once we've decided that, I guess we'll probably put out another dev blog suggesting what we were going ahead with, get your feedback on that, and then poll it. So,
Screamer.
Yeah, it's not Screamer, don't worry. But, yeah, probably the next 3 weeks then.
Yes.
Yes.
Look at the results.
We're not looking at the results just
We're
yet.
not?
Maybe
No,
in a bit.
I could hope.
Come up later.
We've got quite a lot on there anyway.
For randoms, can't we just get a temporary toggle? Could always release a more fancy solution later on when there is dev time. That's from Hugo.
Annoyingly, the way randoms are tied into all the skilling code in the game, if we did that toggle, then you'd keep just running into the script, jumping to random code, and then turning itself off because of the toggle. And that would be kind of annoying. In fact, it happened all the time on PvP worlds. We've had to fix a few skilling scripts in there already to make them a bit less frustrating when a random decides not to happen to you. So, hello, we've got a Facebook thing popped up on our screen. That's nice. So,
Nothing more off-putting, is it?
what are you doing? Anyway, that aside, to get rid of randoms, we would need to weed out all the checks that are calling them at the moment and replace them with something a bit more effective. I wrote one back in 2009, so I can do it again, but I do remember it took me a little while.
The Checkley asks, is it safe to play on bot worlds if you aren't botting?
Yep, perfectly
Yes.
fine.
Feel free to go PK there.
I hear black chins are quite popular.
Satanic Muffin asks, will there be new music with the new continent?
More importantly, though, what flavour is Satanic Muffin?
That's a
Chili
good
Oh,
flavour.
that's a great name, I thought that was.
It must be a kind of chili.
Yeah.
In response to the question, it depends on how much Ash wants to make.
Actually, I had a chat with some of the audio team guys, and they said as long as we can give them enough notice, they'd be happy to write some new music for us.
That's a change. Awesome. That'd be lovely.
Yeah. I talked to Adam Bond about it months back, and he was quite flattered to be asked, although he couldn't obviously offer a month of his time to do it. But we might be able to get it official.
Yeah, I guess that's quite possible then.
Failing all else, we can actually copy music from the pre-EOC files that we've got lying around. That's how we got the Clan Wars track back.
Satanic Muffin again asks, can we have a solution to people ragging others in Wildy and PvP just to upset you?
I think the issue with that is we need to know what that solution is, because we've tried bits and bobs, and we've dealt with some of it, but I think we need you guys to tell us how we implement a solution that works, and then we can look at doing it. But we were speaking about something the other day, weren't we? What were we talking about the other day with ragging? How to get rid of ragging, that was it, yeah, having a classic PvP world type thing.
Yeah.
So PvP as it was back in classic days, where you go up to somebody, you right-click challenge, you then challenge them and have a fight anywhere you like in the world map, which I thought was quite cool. But yeah, up to you if you want it or not.
The tricky thing with getting it into the wilderness and PvP worlds is that you don't want to restrict people from PKing how they want to PK, because people don't necessarily want to have to risk 250k to go and PK. They might rush people to get kills, but ragging, there's not a clear set line between what's playing purely to frustrate people and what is playing to actually kill them, even if it is a slightly controversial method of PKing. Melodic Axe asks, have you ever thought about adding more abyssal weapons, Abbey Mace, Longsword, Dagger from Rev Caves instead of PvP?
Haven't thought about adding it in yet. Did he say putting it in Rev Caves?
Yeah, I think he means instead of giving bonus loots to PvP in any way, do it in a Rev Caves kind of thing.
I would have thought Abyssal Weapons would have been a nicer drop from a potential Slayer expansion, especially something like Abyssal Demons, especially if we did an Abyssal Demon boss.
Indeed,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So I guess it's not that we haven't thought about it. I think we are now, but I'd rather save that for something like Slayer bosses, for things like Abbey Demons.
Different abyssal creatures that drop different abyssal weapons.
Abyssal Beast.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's no reason why not.
ghosts or something.
I'd rather leave that to Slayer though than jumping into something like the Rev Caves, which I think we've polled, haven't we? And didn't really go anywhere.
We polled Revs as part of the Wilderness Rejuvenation. I'm not sure whether we were going to put them in a cave or not.
Probably not,
I
no.
remember that long ago.
Doesn't really matter, does it?
No.
Well, that wasn't really the sticking point anyway.
Dendolf asked, can you give an indication of what effect the Ring of Wealth has on Slayer drops like Whips, Tentacle?
Absolutely none.
So that's a pretty clear indication.
Virtually nothing.
No, it is absolutely nothing.
For those things, yep, nothing.
You take a ring with stats, you'll hit harder. The Slayer stats will be over faster. Don't waste your time taking a Ring of Wealth.
Maybe a better question is, what do we think it should do?
Well, I put the boss log on the Ring of Wealth just to give people a reason to own it.
It's got some nice teleports.
Just
on it now,
because it's got some
If you
teleports
don't
on it as
mind
well.
lugging it to the Fountain of Rune or something.
Yeah.
Do you think it
But,
should perhaps give you better drops? Or make it more powerful when giving you better drops?
We certainly won't do what
I think
happened
there'd be
last
support
time.
with it, support for it doing so. I also remember how they went and did it last time. They tried to do it in a sort of quick and efficient way that would get the effect they wanted quickly. They got the sigil bug. Now, we know how not to do that, but it's given that all drop tables are written individually, to do a decent job of this, we might need to spend quite a long time going through them.
Also, given that it's only a 60k ring, how much it improved them by is probably negatable, and you'd still be better off using the current rings anyway.
I talked to the original dev who wrote this Ring of Wealth back in 2004. He said that since you put the ring on and it gives you free stuff, and you've no real reason to take it off, at least there's no disincentive and it doesn't wear out, he therefore made it crap so that you only got a limited amount of free stuff out of it. Of course, these days there are rings that will, you wear them, you can kill the monsters a lot more effectively, so you've actually got a reason not to choose the Ring of Wealth. So maybe it is worth making the Ring of Wealth a lot more powerful, but maybe make it degrade, or maybe make it wear out in some other way.
Yeah, absolutely.
These are options available to us.
Yeah, maybe it only shines a couple of times.
I wouldn't even have it shine, to be honest.
Yeah.
Some people like the shining, although personally I thought it was ridiculous that if you killed a cave horror, it shines and you get a Guam. What's with that?
So, I mean, that's probably something you should start something on the forums about, put a thread up there and say what you want the Ring of Wealth to do, and we'll have a look. Seems like a good bet.
And a somewhat relevant question, Merchantingnet asks, can we have an update to the rare drop table because let's be real, it's terrible at the minute.
I
Well,
completely agree.
the good news there is that a Ring of Wealth makes it slightly less terrible, but only slightly.
But it only makes it less terrible because it gives you the rubbish that's on the rare drop table ever so slightly more commonly.
Yep.
But getting something like Rune Javelins, a D-Med Helm, isn't something that you really want, especially on the rare drop table, because they're not rare, they're not valuable, you're not really excited by seeing them. So I know you were doing a lot of drop table reworks.
Yeah, I had a couple in mind. Barbarian Assault Gamble reworks are on my list. I'd be happy to do that one.
We've got the rare drop table, the mega rare drop table, and the ultra rare drop table, I believe.
You've got gems, ultra rare, and then super mega duper crazy rare.
They're all pretty terrible. We probably should look to update those at some point.
Thing is, whenever we come up with an idea for a good reward, we need it for the new boss we're introducing that wants a unique drop, at which point you do not want it on the super mega rare drops used by everybody.
Is it possible to post the rare drop tables out?
I think we already have a few times, but we can do it again.
Called drop rates in general.
The rune wikis, both for RuneScape and Old School, they're very accurate. They've pretty much got everything on the drop table down perfectly, so I don't think we need to really interject at all.
Yeah, again, that's another thing for you guys to do. Have a look at the tables and let us know what you want to see on them. Get so much work done by the community today. It's great.
LegionNet asks, can you make Ankus in the Wildy drop dark fishing bait in higher quantities? Killing level 24 zombies is slow and annoying.
Yeah,
easily. It's just a number. Yeah.
Denny966 asks, why can't we smith pickaxes?
It's never done.
You haven't got... Can you smith? You can't
It
smith
came
axes,
from the
can you?
Perils of Ice Mountain quest, didn't it? The
Yeah.
ability to smith pickaxes. They're not that hard to come by, but yeah, we could allow it. The smithing interface is the one we've already reworked, so it's easy to update now.
Lovely.
Yeah, you rewrote it for a Smith X.
Yeah, that must have been it.
Genevieve asks, can you do events...
Genevieve.
That's what you said last week.
Geneva Vive?
Yeah, something like that.
Geneva Vive. Can you do events different to killing 1,000 bosses? Maybe hide and seek. I think on the community streams on Wednesday.
Yeah,
It's
we
going to
were
be
discussing
interesting
that.
live streaming a hide and seek game.
Yeah.
I have done it in the past. I did it when we were giving out party hats, and what I did is I obscured the screen with lots of sort of different pattern type things, so little squares missing from
I remember that.
parts
It
of
was
it.
good fun.
And that was quite entertaining. They'd find me in about 30 seconds each time, no matter where I was, and you could see the tiny little sliver of the screen. You still found me, but you know, we could do things like that.
We were talking about doing Castle Wars, Clan Wars events, stuff that people can kind of come along to and actually have a chance to take part in, as opposed to just watching it. So if you've got any suggestions for events, make sure you let us know on Twitter or the forums.
I think we're running out of bosses as well. So
Yeah.
We've got
there's not very
left, I
many.
think, haven't we?
Yeah, there's not very many
Thereabouts,
1,000 things left to do.
Yeah. You have to introduce some new bosses.
1,000 court kills could be interesting.
Yeah, not before it's out.
No.
Big Ronnie C asks, will you be able to add a third option to the in-game votes?
Yes. With the current system as it is, if we give you 3 options, yes, no, and abstain, the website poll module is going to instinctively show you the percentage for each of those options. What we really want is for it to calculate the yes and no votes, ignoring the abstain votes, because that seems the most intuitive way of interpreting the result. Unfortunately, getting the website reprogrammed to do that is something that we can't get at this time. The web team was a bit reluctant to have our polls working completely differently to RS3's polls, because at the moment it's using the same code in there and they don't really want to have a whole separate poll code just for us. But what we're talking about at the moment is offering the poll interface in-game. So rather than having to go to the website, you can go to, well, maybe your bank or maybe just outside your bank in a major city. There'll be a poll booth where you can see the entire poll archive and vote in the latest poll that's still running. And in that, we control what appears on the screen, which means we can show the percentages calculate any way we like. And we can also post links to pictures. So when we say, would you like this thing redecorated, we can link you to a blinking picture of what it looked like before and what it looks like after.
Like
which
a Steam
we've been
battle stuff.
Yeah, not the smoke battle staff or whatever people thought they were voting on. I think it would be quite a big improvement. And we've got quite a lot of the code in prototype form working already. So we're going to put that on the next poll. And then hopefully we'll have the ability to do a lot more with polls that we couldn't do before, and maybe make things a little bit clearer for you.
So,
Obey My Obby asks, could you add clue scrolls to nests, please?
Trying to clue scroll and nest.
Maybe
It's doable. I don't really... Well, I guess if we really want it, we can. It's not difficult, but it depends. And all nests are exactly the same, so what clue scroll would you expect to get out of a nest?
Like
I'd-
higher the tree, I guess.
Well, all the nests are the same, really, so
There
you
is
can't
different
really...
types of nests, like the giant moles nests from Watching the Gardener.
We can make new kinds of nest.
I guess it seems like an awful lot of work just for clue scrolls from nests.
It's...
It doesn't have to be a nest. A clue could just fall out the tree.
Well, maybe if you crack open those coloured eggs, you've got a different chance of getting a clue on the inside of it rather than just yolk.
So it's like a Kinder egg. You open it, you get it's
A toy, yeah.
clue scroll.
How did a clue scroll end up in an egg?
I don't know. How did the clue scroll end up in a tree?
Well, I've never really looked inside a
See,
bird, but something's going on in
I mean,
there.
I can imagine a bird sort of, making its nest, picks up a bit of paper to pack it with, and it happens to be a clue scroll. That I can get.
Yeah.
But chopping down a tree so it falls out,
Yeah.
stretch too far for me. Let alone an egg. That's something you get from a magician in Las Vegas, isn't it?
Yeah.
Eggs.
Egg and
I guess
crack it
from
open, get
chickens.
different things out.
No,
Okay,
all right, yeah.
Oh, I see.
I guess we can. I don't see there being a lot of support for it, but we'll open discussion if someone. Yeah, we'll look at it.
Also,
I don't really know what to say to it now because it's quite a weird topic.
we could always try and make that rabbit's foot amulet give you a better chance of a bird's nest or something.
There's a lot of people shouting in chat actually, make rabbit's foot amulet, so worthwhile.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit like the hunter thing. In fact, it's probably written at the same time as the
Yeah,
hunter
one
thing
that
in the
just
same
does
way.
Absolutely nothing. It's just cosmetic. Or
Oh, it does quite a lot. It calculates a positive bonus for wearing the right kit and a negative bonus for standing too near the trap, and then it throws the result away and ignores it.
I just saw the results page flash up. What are we at now?
Oh, you want to see it?
You lent on something, I guess.
Yeah, I did.
James lent on something. What's the results page at? Oh, we got like 400 more votes. So this is for the Corp Beast being released. If it was released, what would you want Spirit Shields to be? At the moment, 960 votes are in favour of leaving the Spirit Shields exactly as they are. We've got 642 votes in favour of releasing them but changing the Divine Elysian, which is quite interesting, which is what we kind of expected. 602 votes are for not releasing them at all, but releasing something else instead, which, again, we've identified areas where we think that there are gaps for new best in slot items, such as mid to high level crush weapon, magic gear, and a helmet.
Holy.
Some
going
people,
up fast.
well, at the moment we're going for a lot more votes now. People have started voting again, which is good. That's a good thing. 294 votes are in favour of releasing them all, but only reworking Divine, which is interesting because it looks like more people want both Divine and Elysian reworked, and barely anybody at all, less than 300, don't want Corp at all, which
That's the same person
Yeah.
voting 300 times, by the way.
Oh, sounds it, yeah.
You.
So we're now well over 1,056 votes actually in favour of releasing the Spirit Shields exactly as they were. What's important to note is the question with talking about changing the changing the shields. It technically is one question, so there's actually more support for changing the shields than there is for releasing them exactly as they are. So we're going to have to try and find some middle ground somewhere. But I think the one key thing we were all quite worried about was whether you actually wanted them or not. And a lot of people in the stream, over the previous streams anyway, when we've been talking about Corp, have said we don't want Spirit Shields. So it's clear, at least from this poll, that there's a lot of support for having Spirit Shields. So we know we're going in the right direction by doing them. It's just what we do with them next, which is what we'll probably open the discussion soon about. We'll have another dev blog, I guess, talking about the results of this, the discussion on the last dev blog we've had, and any ideas that have been submitted to us as well as that we've had. So this is all good, actually. This is really good. I'm glad that people are excited about Corp. We're riding the Corp hype. And
Also, I'm glad we can have those shield models because we like the look of them.
Yes.
And it would be a shame to have to throw them away and give you a fancy hat instead or whatever.
if you haven't seen, I posted the shield models on Twitter. I managed to get them over the same way you do, actually,
Yeah.
from RS3 into Old School. So the Divine looks lovely. And so does the Elysian, actually.
Boy Ranger 1 asks, would it be possible to add a lunar tally to the Seal of Passage which can only be used once a day?
Yes.
Just make that some diary content or something.
Yeah, we do want to do those diaries this year.
Yeah.
I look forward to those, actually.
We like diaries.
WizzyCat G asks, any chance of being able to sell more than 10 items at once to a store?
Sell? Could do that.
I'm looking at the reserved look on Ash's face.
Might have to rework the price code a little bit. At the moment, it's recalculating the price for every transaction that happens.
Yeah.
If we try and take that up to, well, X could be 200 million, that's not something the server's going to want to process. So we might end up making it be unusually harsh in terms of the price if you're selling huge numbers like that, which would happen if you tried to sell that kind of stuff to a shop. Also, there might be some impacts on the economy if people can turn all their junk into cash that conveniently, but I'm not so worried there.
Dan Norman asks, will a loot share solution be polled before Corp release?
We've actually got some commands that would make loot share possible for us now.
We have that.
We got them when Ash got these commands for Clan Cup, or Clan
Wars.
Wars support, sorry. They're being used in Clan Cup at the moment. I think a loot share solution would probably be, or Corp at least, would be a very good time to sort of introduce a loot share solution, because trusting, a random foreign team, for example, or a load of people you don't know with a possible drop, especially with ones as expected as the Siggles, might be a bit, imbalanced. So I think it'll be a good time to look at it.
Yeah, we wanted to do something of the sort back when we were working on God Wars, but we didn't have the engine support back at that point. But the weird thing is, I wrote Clan Wars back in 07 using commands that had been designed for loot share, and I managed to hack together Clan Wars using them. Now we've gone to the engine team this year and said we want to write Clan Wars, can we have the loot share commands please? And as a side effect we can write loot share. What we can't do is make it use the GE prices of things, what with us not having a GE, but we can make it work off out prices to be a reasonable approximation, and for boss loot I think that'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
There was someone else asking whether or not when the trade system comes out, if that could be worked in average prices, worked into loot share.
Since the trade system that passed the poll doesn't actually track the trades, no.
Erin Saber 6 asks, can we see the addition of a gnome child pet or gnome hat reward?
No means.
I think I've seen this.
Gnome
picture.
child.
Yeah.
Have you not seen it? They would have been nuts over the gnome child.
I can think
It
of
just follows
100
you.
reasons why we don't give control of children to some of our players.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just thinking.
To be fair, you are allowed to
killing
kill him.
Well, we have kitten pets, right? And they're not human. And gnomes are not human.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
can't sell them for death runes. Which you can with a cat.
Just as something really philosophical to you, and then you just swipe him. It just looks a bit ridiculous.
In all fairness, at this point, the whole gnome child hype has kind of died down, so I think adding it to the game might be a bit short-lived.
I'd be happy to rename the gnome to Helix though.
Also, what do you kill to get this job? Like, do you have to kill the gnome parents a load of times?
I think people were suggesting that you had to kill the gnome child, and there was a 1 in 100,000 chance of getting him as a
So
pet.
you killed him, and then all of a sudden he rises from the dead and follows
So
you.
he's a zombie gnome
Lord
child.
Helix knows no bounds.
Yeah, this is true. Lord Helix does know no bounds. But I'm
Gnomes are people
not
too.
entirely sure we can get this to go forward.
Yeah.
Define RS asks, will Old School ever get a run restoration like resting?
Probably not.
No, we've got stamina potions. They kind of do the job for you, and they haven't completely devalued Herblore.
DJ1 asks, can you remove the quest icons on the minimap after we complete a quest?
No.
No.
Multi-lock support for those didn't come in until like 2009 or beyond. Now, if we could get a little bit of work done on the engine, then it could probably be made possible because they did it before. But there was a lot of engine work done to create that. It was for the in-game world map mostly. And that's quite a lot of stuff to achieve something relatively small. We might want to save our engine time for more significant updates.
Absolutely.
It's a shame though, because I wanted to make the banks spawn points on PvP worlds have icons that only showed on the PvP world, and couldn't quite do that.
What are your thoughts on more long-term unique boss drops, such as the creation of the Armadyl Battle Staff in RS3? And that's from MenaceMan22.
Yeah, it's a good concept. Well, that's loud. If you've got any ideas for anything like that, then send them in. We can look at them.
I mean, I was a fan of the Armadyl Battle Staff, especially its magic attack, which was very overpowered actually. But
Ridiculously overpowered.
it was
Yeah,
ridiculously
ridiculous.
overpowered. But it's, again, as John said, send us your ideas if you have any. Now I'm going to watch James get stuck as he opens his door. No, he's managed it.
Yay!
Bertie RS asks, do you think you could create an update to Chompy Hunting, as it has some great potential for Old School RuneScape?
That's it.
I was getting John for this one because John was moaning about this the other day.
Yeah, I want the 5k chompy hat, and I wear it on my Jane once because I can give it to myself. What changes specifically? If it's to make it ridiculously fast for no apparent real reason, then probably not. But if you just want to sort of streamline the process, then we can certainly look at it.
Yeah, do you know what you actually had in mind?
No suggestion, just a request.
Well, if it's a quest so that everyone can get the 6,000 kills or whatever really, really quickly without having to do the work, not so much.
Yeah.
The Camel Nip asks, can you make minigame...
The what?
What? The Camel Nip. I didn't read his
I didn't hear
name
you
before
need to say
writing it
again.
down. Get out. Can you make
It's like
minigame
catnip.
teleports always available? Some minigames are always full. Oh, that's from Leslie RS, sorry.
Should we
No,
get that on
so
the next
we-
poll? It's been talked about
I've
enough.
put it on the wish list.
We'll do that.
Can we get an activity bar for the blast furnace to stop leeches? And that is from the aforementioned Twitter user.
Which one?
Not gonna go into that much detail.
CA Melnip.
Oh, Ash.
Oh dear.
What was the question again?
Can we
Activity
get-
bar for-
Activity bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been near the code for that blast furnace.
I have once.
I've
What
never
do you
been to the
do?
last
Honestly.
phase.
I can't remember what I did. I think no. I did a bank down there, and what I did was put. Actually, no, not even near the code. I went near the map. Okay. So yeah, no, I haven't even seen the code for it.
I guess we could learn how it works enough to tie stuff into it.
So I definitely need the code for it because when we were doing the filming for Motherload Mine, they wanted to get some sort of mining code up, and by chance I just opened Blast Furnace. So I've seen the code. I haven't read the code. I don't know what it's like.
Nor do I.
You did fix it while you were there as well, didn't
Yeah,
you?
I did find a bug while I was there, and I did sort that out, which was convenient. But
Love it when that happens.
It's
Yeah.
a good sign, actually. That code's just been ticking away happily for all these years. Mod John A wrote it rigorously.
it's never had a mechanical problem, I don't believe.
Yeah, the last time it had a major problem, it was because somebody had been in there trying to optimise it, and it wasn't me.
Actually, no, the only thing that's happened in there since Old School's been around is somebody found a way, or Eric or Joe on YouTube found a way of smuggling the pump thing out. So you'd be at Lumbridge or Varrock or whatever, just pumping, and the lock would just disappear, which
Well,
we
that would
stopped.
be handy if we want to add, quad trainers things to the
Yeah.
game or whatever.
Or like rowing you in the gym, just like, oh, there we go, that.
If we couldn't have been bothered to
Get
map
on
all
gym.
those rooftop agility courses, we could have just put a cross trainer on top of the rooftop.
Agility span. Yeah, there you go. But that's, I think, the only time we've actually ever been near Blast Furnace properly, really.
Leslie RS asks, can you give Champion Scrolls some sort of use or better rewards, please?
Yeah, I'd like to do that. Well,
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, 500 Slayer XP or something
Yeah.
lame like
Yeah.
that.
I'd like to add some more champions as well, to be honest.
We can do that. The one thing I would want is to make sure that if we increase the rewards, people who have already done it can go back and get the rest of the reward so that they'd be kind of owed for it. I don't see that being a problem for us.
Dudes asks, better drops from Mole taking 3 years to get 7 death runes.
It
Not
took
trying
3
hard enough.
years to get 7 death runes.
Well, he
Apparently
has
so.
lame
You're doing
drops
it
and it
wrong.
takes a while to
That
kill,
seems
but
slightly exaggerated.
Yeah,
it's better than training cats for them.
In fact, hang on a minute, we've only been open 18 months.
Yeah, he's definitely lying.
Although, to be fair, I think the mole does need... The mole's very rewarding, especially with his claws and what the claws can give you and everything else like that.
If we cast certain spells on him, maybe he could be prevented from digging.
That would be nice.
Like
That's the
free
biggest
spells?
frustration.
Like, if you cast the free spells on him, maybe if he digs, he can only go a short distance, or he can't dig, or he... maybe there's a new spell on whatever we're concepting for the future spell books or prayer books to turns the floor to steel under him or something so he can't dig through it. But you can still bury bones.
The only time that spell will ever be useful is in the mole.
And he also stops people burying bones.
Plaster it all over Lava Dragon Isle.
Or
That-
grief treasure
I'm about to
hunters.
say, yeah, about treasure hunters. Somebody's trying to dig for their clue scroll and the whole floor is steel. It's like, good fight. That's a terrible idea. We should not do it.
Yeah, let's not do that.
EES Marco asks, can we get something done in the single areas in Deep Wilderness to improve activity? Buff demi-bosses, drop tables, or new boss?
Demi-boss is actually quite popular as far as
They're
I've
very
seen.
rewarding. That's because they're not that difficult to kill.
Yeah, they're not hugely rewarding, but they're rewarding over time. I think you yourself have been camping at Scorpio for a little bit and got killed about 6 times.
We never died.
I think the
We
Chaos
didn't know.
Fanatic has obviously a pet that he drops, as well as it's quite an interesting fight. The others, Scorpio didn't pass a poll getting a pet, so that's a shame. So we can't really add that to Scorpia. The crazed archaeologist, I'm not entirely sure
Fedora.
we gave him the fedora, but
Yes.
again, the demand for a fedora doesn't seem to be that high anymore.
The thing about the archaeologist is it is in very low wilderness and very easy to kill.
With a teleport spot right next to him.
So
But no, they're still fairly good for cash over time. I can look at the drop tables and improve them, but not by a huge amount.
Yeah.
When we worked on Clan Wars, there was some talk about whether it should be in the wilderness so that it would bring people to the wilderness. And we worked out that the people who wanted Clan Wars there weren't interested in Clan Wars at all. They just wanted a safe spot around that point of the wilderness with maybe a bank in it, or maybe not a bank in it, just a place where people teleport to and then sit there in safety or walk out and do some PKing from there. And I said if there was enough demand for it, we could stick just a safe spot like that in a building where Clan Wars isn't, just to create that effect without needing Clan Wars to be stuck up the wilderness for no reason. Now, I didn't see that much talk about it thereafter, so we left it alone, but if people wanted that to just physically bring people into the area, it's something we could do.
Could, of course, head back to Wildy Tag, of course.
yes,
That's the other option.
true.
Yeah.
Those who don't know, Wildy Tag was sort of a system of posts that went across the wilderness, and each one you hit, you got some gold for, or you got a reward for, and then the more you would hit, the more you would collect. But obviously, people will be trying to kill you at these posts as well.
It's basically Warbands meets Brimhaven Agility course, effectively.
Yeah, Mod Nexus wrote a fairly detailed blog about what we could do there, I think.
Yeah.
We don't have to, well, we can credit him and nick his idea.
Yeah.
Steel Maces asks, what is everyone's favourite brand of tea?
Earl Grey. Hot.
I don't drink hot drinks at all, so
You
I
don't
don't
drink cold drinks either.
I do drink cold drinks. My drinks have to be freezing. I don't like hot drinks. So
I'm also fairly fond of Lapsang Souchong when it's going, but Earl Grey.
I prefer Earl Grey as well.
I like green tea. Any brand.
Just mouldy
Mouldy tea.
tea, yeah.
I don't really drink tea, but Adagio,
What is that?
some American one. That
Okay.
is the only tea I've ever had, so I'm kind of obliged. Someone says I got their name.
Moving on quickly there, there's obviously
Yeah,
a story there you don't want to share.
hit an emotional spot.
We want more lore.
Look.
The only one of us that has, I guess, any sort of experience in dealing with the law is you.
Oh, that kind of lore.
Yeah.
Sorry. Totally misheard.
Because I respect that RuneScape has law. I don't particularly think we should build the game around the law. I think that can hold us back in a lot of situations where, a good idea is being held back purely because, the elves, I'm using elves as an example, didn't agree with this and everything else. So I don't think we should really build the game around it, personally. But Ash is pretty much the only one with any law experience.
Well, the thing is, all the quests I ever wrote didn't use it and didn't have anything to do with it because I wasn't just dealing with those storylines at all. Like all the Wise Old Man quests, he's got a story. You could call it lore if you like, but really it's just a story about a little old man who does funny stuff. I don't want us to make the game ridiculous, like say, yeah, there's elves and they're partnered up with space aliens in Lumbridge because that's funny. That's
Great
just
idea.
not quite where elves go, but there's usually ways of working around it. Like we've got Zilyana dropping an Armadillo thing because presumably she stole it from somewhere, from Armadillo, whatever.
Thief.
We didn't have to go into details, but if requested, we could flesh out the story in the same way they did in RS3. And I don't mind the idea of, say, the boss monsters dropping a book that tells their story of how they came to be like that, like who the heck Vetian's meant to be. Just like we did with Buggy, the random archaeologist corpse in Neve's dungeon. So we can do that stuff, and heck, if you guys want to write it for us and send it in, we'll do it more quickly.
Absolutely.
Can we have achievement diaries?
Yes.
Yes.
Can we pull the hand cannon?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
No. You want something to add to that, Alfred?
What's wrong with the hand cannon? It's just, it's
Next, descent.
You get one hit from full health
yeah, but you
instantly.
can do that with Darkbow.
Well, yeah, 1 in 1,000 hit with a dart bow. The cannon had very high accuracy.
Really?
Any plans to change how Recipe for Disaster gloves just sort of disappear in PvP situations?
If you want us to, we can make them drop to coins.
It's quite a nice money sink, because every time you do die with them and you haven't kept them on death, you do have to go buy another pair.
What is it they do over level 20 wilderness at the moment?
Someone in the chat will answer that one.
Yeah.
Under 20 wilderness, they just disappear.
Yeah.
They don't drop anything. It depends what order the scripts are running in.
I'm sure the players will be able to tell us, and if they want to
I'll check
change
that
to
when
gold,
run
we
back
can do that.
upstairs. I'd imagine the convert to gold was superseding everything,
It was quite high up the list.
which means it would be dropping around 20k?
Origin Vision asks, add a U to unstrung amulets.
I've actually got that on my list of things to rename when we come to do the trade system, because they have the exact same name as the strong version.
Merchanting Net asks, can we have an... Oh, that's the same question I asked earlier. Emily Doll PVM asks, can enchanted bolts be updated to allow any gem to be added to any bolt?
Yeah, OSRS Lie, we sent it in last week and had a conversation on Twitter about it. We can do it if there's enough demand, because one, it's a huge job, because it's a lot of combinations. I really don't want to test it because the config names are stupidly annoying. Expos _ crossbow _ bolts _ adamantite _ tipped _ diamond _ enchanted.
Well done.
Yeah,
Well done.
the item name's used to be, the worst item name out there was MM _ monkey _ gree _ fort _ small _ ninja _ monkey. But the crossbow box just cooked that beyond it.
Yeah. And when God Wars came out initially, the dev who wrote God Wars not only used Americanisms, which
Half the time.
and everybody in the company is English, so we use Englishisms. That's a new word there. He also spelt them wrong. So he used Americanisms wrong. So for AGS, for example, it was, or Bando skirt, or tassets, was God Wars _ armored _ bandos _ armor _ skirt. So we just changed it to Bando skirt.
All the other God swords like God Wars _ Godsword _ Armadillo _ plus shards _ 1 + 2 + 3.
AGS, yeah, something like that. All the God swords were basically God Wars _ completed _ God name, so Armadillo, God War, Armadillo, Bandos, Zamorak, Saradomin _ God sword. We got quite lazy, so I changed it to Armadillo God sword. Then I got even more lazy and changed it to just AGS, BGS, SGS, and ZGS.
ACB, SOTD.
The only thing is, once we've created the item name and launched it, we can't go back and change its debug name, because then all the people who already got it will not have it anymore, and they won't have the new item because the save game profile won't recognise it's the same thing, which is why we're a bit stuck with those. But it's for new items, like all the new variants of the gem bolts, then we can give them any names we like. We just can't rename the old ones to be consistent. Everything in RuneScape is consistent, just not with each other.
Iron Outcast asks, could we get spirit trees in player-owned houses?
We just tag that onto the long list of construction things that we're likely never to do, because construction is on the rag list.
Tell you what, if you don't want to test them, I'll just cross my fingers really hard when I code them and hope I do it right first
That's
shot.
all right, I'm not an icon. I ain't going near it.
LeBron Old School RuneScape asks, any future plans to add Twitch integration into Old School?
Do you want to take this one?
Not at the moment. The problem with Twitch integration and Old School is, although the way RS3 works is very different to the way Old School works, which means what they did won't work with what we've got, which means we have to have something brand new and completely working and everything else. So not at the moment.
It was suggested that even if we can't get full Twitch integration, since the game applet sits on a big blank web page, we could use some of that real estate space to show useful things like embed bits of Twitch, or show a chat channel from it,
Yeah,
and maybe try and get it just done on the web page, even if we can't have the game applet do
yeah,
anything.
it'd be
clever.
nice to get some sort of proper integration on the web page. Problem we've got with Twitch and integrating it is there's a whole load of different demands or not demands, but a whole load of things Twitch want working properly if it's going to be embedded in a game, and one of them is the cameras. People's cameras have got to be embedded and working, so there needs to be support for that. There needs to be support for all the other bits and bobs, the speakers, microphones, all that sort of stuff, which makes it very difficult to tick in all their boxes to allow us to do the stuff. It's not a straightforward process. which is a big shame because it would be great to have a proper integrated Twitch system with Old School because you guys love streaming it and we do too, and we love watching it. So yeah, it would be nice, but it's a big, super big job, I'm afraid.
Got no questions left here, but I did just see one in the chat, which was Rhino Cape for Old School.
Rhino Cape.
I guess he means the Tokar Cow.
Tokar Cow,
That's what
yeah.
it was commonly known as, because before it was reworked, it looked like just a wash of plates or a rhino.
Ah, that's a relief. I thought they wanted something like the Rhino update that's gone in RS.
Yes, I was thinking, so I was like, hang on a minute.
We've discussed an extension to the fight caves before. I don't necessarily think we should do it the exact same as they did before, because that's just basically copying them. We'd rather do our own version. We could introduce it with a Slayer update, or we could just give you another wave-based boss, or we can find something else pretty awesome to give it to you.
We can put 2 Jads at the final boss.
We could have 2 Jads as a final boss.
Not
We
final
can have
boss.
no, not preliminary, but ultimate boss.
Penultimate, yeah.
But we'd like to do something to the fight caves as an extension. What we do is, and yes, entirely up to you or where we go. But yeah,
And the rewards, the Tokar Cow had an extra 4 strength bonus and a couple of other more defensive bonuses. If you're really happy with that, then yeah, we can do them. I'm sure Alfie can model us up something nice with flowing lava and without particles or bloom.
Well, I rather like the look of the recoloured fire capes you did last year,
yeah, it's true. They're sitting there still.
especially the red one.
I like the white one.
Blue one's nice.
For that matter, we've got a fire cape. We could have a water cape, an air cape, and an earth cape. Although the earth cape might look like you've had an accident.
Yeah. Actually, following on from that, people are shouting Jad Pet. I'm not entirely sure if we're planning on polling that anytime soon.
I'd
but
like to pull it at some point, given that we just released a load of pets.
Yeah.
When we do it is
I think we'll.
to be decided, but
For Jad Pet at least, we're not going to make it so you obviously complete fire caves, the fight caves, and just get a Jad Pet because you can do that in half an hour. So I think we'll make you pay a certain number of fire capes. I think we're toying between 50 to 100 because pets are very, very rare. You can kill way more than 100 bosses and not get a pet. You could spend, 100 fire capes worth of hours inside fight caves and still not actually get a pet doing any other boss. So it needs to be worth it.
There was a guy on Reddit who's already started to collect fire capes. He's on 10 out of 100.
Moobage.
so
Yeah,
far.
I think that's the one. I think it was Movies actually saying, it's a journey so far, but 50 to 100 seems fair. Only the people that are really good at PVM and really consistent and persistent are going to get hold of it. So,
well, yeah, we went with 50 to 100 because unlike other bosses, you don't get anything else from killing Jads or doing the fight cave apart from Tokkul, and you'll be spending more on supplies than the Tokkul will be making you. So that's the sort of balance. You're effectively paying for it with less time but more physical cash. So.
How about if you could pay a Slayer Master with Slayer points to assign Jad as a task, but you can only do it a limited number of times a month or something, and then you go kill Jad and get lots of Slayer XP for doing it, thus making the Slayer challenge but without the random aspect it had before. You also give use of those Slayer points, which we haven't done very much with.
Yeah, could do that.
Somebody was asking about Iron Man mode. For those who don't know what Iron Man mode is, I'm sure you know what an Iron Man is or an Iron Man account. Mod Pips posted last week, I think now, about how we're trying to introduce, especially into RS3, an Iron Man mode where your account gets restricted and you get put into a set of high scores and then you're recognised as an Iron Man or that sort of thing. And while they're going through that process, also mentioned that the support that we need to do that could be done at the same time, so the engine team could make the support for RS3 and for us, so we have that option too. I think we need to sort of sit down probably this week and have a think about how we can make it work, and what it should look like, talk to you guys about it as well, because there's the big question sort of I have sort of bubbling at the back of my mind right now is what do we do with people like Boaty who are streaming right now in a charity stream. Nice plug there, you notice that? Seamless. But he's an Iron Man account. How do we recognise him? He's been doing it already, and we don't want to ignore all these people who have Iron Man accounts and have been doing it for ages. How do we recognise them in a high scores type system, and how do we get them into that as well? So I think we probably ought to sit down this week and have a think about how we can make it work.
Yeah, do it
and then come to you guys, have a chat, and maybe even poll it next week. At least then we know whether we're doing it and whether the engine work, what we need engine to do.
Yes, I think the engine team is quite up for doing whatever it takes. They just need a fairly specific list of what you guys think it should take.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I think we'll have a conversation over the weekend about that, and then we'll get it polled next week. Cool. Iron Man answered.
Lady Banff is asking for the PVM arena as a mini game, the one from the Clan Cup.
You suggested that.
I did.
After we, just after we released it.
It's almost like great minds and all that. It's not me and my alt account or anything.
The only
It's my wife.
reservation I had about it was the fact that Jad's in there, and technically that's like a free practice against Jad's.
When we were blogging about Nightmare Zone when it was first being designed, there was a lot of response saying, do not create a safe place for practicing on Jad that's easy to get to.
Yeah.
And I think that concern would still matter.
Yeah, no, I would certainly whip Jad out of it so that it is. For those who don't know what it is, of course, because obviously you all might not, it is an arena we're using for the clans to do PVM fights so that we can find out who the best PVM clan is. Effectively, how does it work? Every 40 seconds a new boss spawns?
Between 30 and 60. I think.
Something like that. It's not the same, so people don't get used to in a particular rotation.
Okay. So yeah, it's over between 30 and 60 seconds a new boss spawns, and then you have to kill it for as long as possible until your entire team dies. But obviously Jad's in there, would want to whip Jad out so that they're not getting to play with Jad. Yeah.
But yeah, once the Clan Cup's over, we can easily
We'll poll it,
whip
poll
it
it
out.
afterwards.
Poll it, stick it in.
In fact, what we probably could do, in fact, we probably mentioned this a few weeks ago, is at the end of the Clan Cup, during one of your community streams, we can open it up so that everybody can come and join you in it.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
And then you guys can have a play with it, those who aren't in clans can have a play with it. And then you can decide whether you want it in game, we'll poll it, job done.
I wonder if we could build it into a Clan Wars, into the list of Clan Wars arenas, so that it's available there in a place that clans can already go to.
Yeah.
Because we've already got support for Clan Wars arenas with NPCs spawning in them, so we can do that kind of thing.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
And Dan's already done all the hard work with the AI.
It was
Horrible. It's horrible.
It works.
It was dark magic.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I mean the AI for the monsters themselves.
All right, any more questions coming through? Lots of them, far too quickly.
When will the polls for Corp's items be? A question from Sambu. Presumably at the same time as the poll for Corp, yeah?
Yes, but obviously we discussed at the start of the stream that might be about 3 weeks' time, so that means we have 3 weeks to open another dev vlog to talk about the ideas behind. What?
What happened?
Someone come out, it says, Alfred, if you see this, rub your chin. I look over at Alfred and he's like,
Oh, I see what's going on.
I see you.
Leaking information.
We're thinking of polling Corp in 3 weeks. That means we've got 3 weeks to do a dev vlog and talk about what we're doing as Spirit Shields, get your feedback on what you think we should be doing, or if we're doing it right or wrong, and then take it from there. So we've got plenty of time.
Smush the Pro said Max Cape. We answer this every week, so I'll make it quick. Yeah, we'll probably do one eventually. There's only like 17, 18 max people at the minute, and as soon as as soon as there are about enough people to make it worth the amount of time it would take Alfie to model it with a suitable, awesome animation, we'll probably offer it then.
Question from Hammer Time about barehanded catching for butterflies and implings. I would like to do that. Mostly for the implings, of course, because if you're going butterfly hunting, you probably know it, you can bring the stuff. But seeing an impling just go by and being able to grab it, I would like that very much. It's been on the list of things we've thought about for a long time. It's never quite got to the top yet.
I'd like that, then I might finish Hunter off. So.
It might work quite nicely, because obviously we need to talk about Artisan again in the coming weeks. Get it into that, because what I'm thinking with Artisan now is when we poll it as a skill. Do you want the skill? Yes, no. If they don't want the skill, we can poll each individual thing separately about adding it into the existing skills, which is a lot of the feedback we got from it. So do you want the fish fillets, for example, do they want those put in place? Do you want it, if you don't want Artisan as a skill, do you want that put into fishing or into cooking? And have them all sort of just to bulk out the rest of the skills.
Well, all the stuff we were talking about was all cool ideas, so even if we're not getting a new skill, we should totally use them.
Like the constructible agility shortcuts as well, things like that, I like those.
But then we could also put in your bare-handed catching of different things as well as part of the skills into whatever skill it needs to go into as well, so that would all work quite nicely, I think.
I seem to recall it was a combination of hunter and agility, so yeah.
That seems
both of which you could do with something.
Indeed. So
agility makes 20 mil now, so I think they're doing all right.
Well, there's that. Speaking of which, the Marks of Grace, we talked at one point about maybe they could be available on other courses, not just the rooftop ones.
We'll stick that on the next poll, I think.
I would be glad to get that in there.
Oh, well, assuming it's not a huge job.
It's not a huge job.
Here we go.
Can we get a money pouch?
No. All coin-related code.
Ash and I have talked about money pouch, how it was done, how we would have done it differently. all the things wrong with it that we've ever dealt with in the past. In fact, we talked about it last week, probably, I think.
Yeah, we know how to write it safely.
Yeah.
That isn't, of course, a small job, so we would probably have to down tools for quite a long time and not do any other updates for a bit if we were doing a money pouch. For me, the main objection, though, is that is not a very old school thing. The money pouch was one of those things that took RuneScape away from what I always thought to be the old school version. And I would be disappointed to see it voted in again. But if that's something that everybody actually wanted, we would do it. I just don't get that feeling I don't get that strength of feeling about it.
As well as maintaining the money pouch, there's an awful lot of code in game which puts money into your invent and your bank and things like that, and we have to amend all of that to first check your money pouch. If you can go there, put money pouch, otherwise invent, otherwise floor. So, you know, there's an awful lot of maintenance with that as well. But as Ash said, you know, it's not really an old school. And the money pouch we've had a lot of problems with in the past. I think it was quite funny, is a lot of people chose not to use it because they were terrified their money would go missing. Yeah. Or actually, they probably should have used it because they might have tripled it. So.
Also, we have to rewrite the bank pin first. You wouldn't expect that, but the way the bank pin currently is,
It's going on the rag list.
Nothing wrong with the bank pin. I know I goofed up slightly when I rewrote it for RS3 to be able to do this thing, but the bank pin is not an easy thing to install, and for it to work with the money pouch, we would need to streamline its code in much the same way that I did for RS3 years back. I know how to do it, and I also got a big improvement out of its behaviour. I was able to make the buttons move a lot faster when you clicked them, and that's something that people have asked for us again. But we would have to do it before we could try to tie it into the money pouch, because otherwise it just wouldn't be, the syntax wouldn't work out.
Yeah, well, it's only a small step from the money pouch to the tool belt, which is the next step, isn't it?
Which gets asked about occasionally, but is also a long step away from
I believe we mentioned
the
the
old
tool belt
school
last
game.
week, and we were practically shot.
Yeah, and then of course there's only a small step from tool belt to Squeal of Fortune.
Yeah, of course.
And
then we've got to have
Squeal of
EOC.
Fortune.
We have to have EOC after that. Just
Well,
have to.
we could always just toggle it.
Slippery slope.
I'm watching Simon try and clear look like tears from his face over there,
Oh dear.
laughing silently.
Scroton, and yes, I said that correctly, said an adventure log, please. I would love to do an adventures log, but unfortunately it needs a lot of support from First Engine and then a huge amount of work from the web team who don't have a whole lot of time to spare. I think we waited like 6 days to get a picture uploaded once.
They said no, actually. We had to go and sweet talk somebody else to upload the picture somewhere else for us.
Yeah, so what we do instead is give you in-game stuff to be able to access the same information, like seeing your boss kills and stuff like that. And playtime was a popular one with Adventures Log. If we can get a little engine job, I think.
Yeah, I would like that for a whole bunch of reasons.
Then we can show you your playtime as well. So
We might be able to write an in-game interface that shows that kind of information for another person if they don't have privacy mode on.
Yeah. Quite nice if there could be, and this might be realms of fantasy.
What do you fantasise about, man?
Yeah, fantasising about Facebook and Twitter and stuff, and a button on your adventurers log where you can just go dunk, and then it will take an image of your adventurers log and it will upload it onto your Twitter account or your Facebook account.
There are already apps that do that, so it wouldn't be too difficult.
Good. Official answer.
In fact, that snipping tool we use for our screenshots ain't that far off.
Yeah, I mean there are. I mean on my Facebook, I see people posting things they've completed on their from their adventures log.
It'd be nice
When
to
they're
get
doing
it sort
RS,
of
so-
proper in the game client, so you can just go dunk, push.
Well, we've wanted a screenshot button since 2004.
Yes. Screenshot button. Screenshot button. Should we have a screenshot button? Let's try and wake up Simon and James for a nice little straw poll on a screenshot button.
they've been very cosy over there.
Yeah, we haven't
Oh,
asked
if they
much
do.
of them this stream. So I have to get them to earn their pennies, I guess.
Yeah, and we could make it show only the 3D view or show the whole applet depending on what the player's chosen at the time, whatever.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Probably easier for us than would be for
Boatie's
us.
just got a 5k donation. Now, what's he doing a stream for? He's doing it for
Macmillan Cancer Research.
Yes, Macmillan
Nice.
Cancer Research.
Last I
so-
looked, he'd raised like 10,000 sterling or so. That's today just from donations.
And we hope you all go over there to support him
Yes.
in every sense when
Absolutely.
we finished.
Yeah, it's an incredible cause.
Yes. And
Nice, really, aren't
on top of that, I think he said he'll dye his hair purple. So
he's already.
if you're not very charitable and you don't want to give money to him, at least go watch him or donate to have his hair dyed purple.
I did recommend that if he got to 20k, he would have to shave his head completely, and that I would do the same for RuneFests. But then it actually looked like he might reach 20k, so I disappeared.
Coward.
He said no first.
Well, you do like having your hair really short.
Yeah, but I've never been skinhead.
Okay.
I do need a haircut.
Well, it's not like you're going for a job interview anytime soon.
Someone said
Have
remove
you?
KBD random events. Do they mean there's a random event that's a KBD? Because that would be quite awesome.
No, you get random events where you fight in the KBD.
KBD turn up, a random event.
Well, we probably should have some more aggressive mobs having the KBD turn up and beat the life out of you.
I've teleported to the KBD layer.
2 hit.
I did that by accident earlier today. I was teleporting around trying to find the cave underneath the fishing guild where Petrified Petra is.
Yeah.
And I accidentally put myself in the old KBD lair from before it got made square. Turns out there is an extra KBD lair with no access to it, but a KBD sitting there all by himself.
no
in the middle.
idea
Didn't we use that for the
existed.
Skill Cup arena?
No, that's the old... I don't... No, I mapped that myself by copying what Dan had at the time.
Yeah, I had no idea that existed. I'll have to go see that later.
Right,
Yeah,
so I think we have some results here for would you like a screenshot button. I think it's overwhelmingly yes, 78% from 560 votes. So that's 436 people saying yes, 126 no.
Cool.
Guess we'll have to do that then, won't we? There we go. Thanks, James. Thanks, Simon.
Woo. Fairy Tales RS says, if Corp is released, can you make it possible to get a random event on the way going back? It's gone off screen, so I tried to say it too quickly.
I know what you're saying, and
Yeah.
that's probably directly related to Richard.
More than likely, yeah. I mean, I was always. I think anybody who did Corp seriously who died was very, very infuriated when they're running back.
I never
with
died.
With 2 minutes, don't die at Corp,
I
and you
remember.
get the random event. So I think we probably should do something.
Well, I wouldn't mind banning random events for a few minutes after you've died, just as a straight out thing, regardless
fine.
of whether you died near the corp.
No,
Yeah,
but they're
we-
risking their items. If they want to.
Yeah,
risk
well,
it, risk
they're
it.
taking the risk, a reasonable risk already.
But to be honest, now in old school, when you die, your items appear instantly anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, at the moment, that's the behaviour that's currently inside the Corp cave because I haven't changed that because we're launching right now. I don't need to change that. I reckon we probably would go with making your items not appear instantly because the cave at the moment is back where it was in the wilderness. The wilderness is active, so you can't be killed on the way up there. Whether or not we put a teleport option or put it somewhere else is again down to you when we come to poll it.
Or
But,
even make the cave PvP area itself.
Oh,
What?
damn.
That's a bit extreme.
That would be really extreme.
Nothing wrong with being extreme. I'm all up for that. I'm all
The
up for a bit
hardcore
more
stuff.
danger.
Yeah,
But,
okay.
I would like to see items still be lost on death instantly, just because I know
have
Skill
PvP
Specs is
worlds.
planning on going to Corp. And I like watching
There was a
Skill Specs
question
get
earlier on
cleaned.
Twitter, which was, when's the snake boss coming out?
That could be read in so many ways.
Really?
I understood it exactly as it was meant, but I don't know.
I'm not now, you know.
Again, Simon's trying not to look at us.
There you go, Bogey's at 22,000 already for charity, and that doesn't
So are
include his
you
ad
shaving your
revenue.
head then?
No, because he didn't agree to the terms.
So what are you shaving? Okay.
No, don't.
Oh man.
Moving on.
We nearly got to the end. We're 1 minute away.
Well, at least it wasn't me for once.
Yeah.
But
Well, on that note,
Yeah. Either way, snake boss would be good. To be fair.
only if it comes with a snake pet.
So as we're coming to the end, do we need to talk about live streams coming up this weekend or anything like that?
I don't know. Have we got anything due to come out this weekend?
No,
No.
see you next Wednesday.
So yeah, next Wednesday. What have you got any plans for next Wednesday? Do you know what you're doing yet?
No idea what I'm doing yet, to be honest.
Could kill Mod Alfred 1,000 times and see what drops.
he'll just sit at the top colon bank when he wants to come back.
You'd never kill me. So.
Yeah, that's pretty one defense.
Alternatively, as we've got the wilderness bosses still to do, haven't we? So maybe one of those, and then maybe
Yeah, I think Dan was saying that he'd have to sort something out with the wilderness bosses to make it possible because they're not set up for the potato yet. He said that you
We
need
can't
to.
fix something for them.
I probably should have known that before we did an update then.
right, maybe not wilderness bosses.
Yeah, do candles or castles or something.
Yeah, we can do a non-killing something 1,000
Yeah.
times
Yeah.
event.
We'll do something.
Or stick 1,000 pay dirt into the Motherlode mining machine and see what comes out the other end.
Yes.
That's going to be a very boring
That would be
stream.
the worst thing you could stream. It's like, as you going, well actually what would be worse than that?
1,000 fires, see how long they
1,000
last.
rat pits, Jules.
Oh, does it work?
Does it work? I don't know. If it doesn't work, then nobody has told us.
What we could do is we could do
Has anyone done
a
Reddit?
thousand searches of the box next to the chest in Castle Wars.
Might get a bucket. You never know. I think that was a suggestion. Actually,
1 in a
a
billion.
couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, get something from it.
Or you
Anyway,
could
yes,
all-
we probably ought
yeah.
to say goodbye, hadn't we? So
Let's
yeah.
plug some Twitter accounts. I'm almost at 5,000.
Hey.
They're on the screen.
There you go.
Behind us.
I forgot
They-
about that.
Conveniently, they're all behind where we're sitting.
Yeah.
So obviously.
Conveniently,
Ronan-
that's done on purpose. That's why I couldn't sit on the end.
Sort of
Practically
Convenient,
assaulted
eh?
me to get me off the
Well,
end.
you don't have to. I sat it under Alfred's one time.
Okay, well, see you all next week, I guess.
Well, not me. I'm not here.
No, you've got
Oh.
a week off, haven't you?
Then you're off the following week.
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Oh, so there you go. They're all disappearing.
So yeah, see you later. Go,
You're
go
off on
join,
Monday.
go join
I'll book
Boatsy
that.
because he's doing charity stuff, which
Yes.
is always good.
Look at that.
So yes, and we'll see you all next week. Lovely to see you all. Bye bye.
Bye.